Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description. It'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? Got another video today. This time we are in the new season in Ultra League already. First of all, a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Could not be doing this without you guys. But yeah, let's get right into this video. This is very similar to a team I've run in the past. The only difference being that I ran Venusaur instead. This was an attempt to counter the Talonflame heavy meta. Doesn't seem as Talonflame heavy anymore, but it could be my rating. Could be my rank. Who knows? Because we can't see them. This is kind of a very long season. And instead of talking about the team, which is a pretty classic ABB team right now, I kind of want to know how you guys are going to approach the season, maybe how I should be approaching the season. So I've been taking it pretty easy, as you'll see soon. I'm in rank 14 or something like that. Like, I've barely played any battles, but this is an unranked season with 3 times the length of the last unranked season. And the last time an unranked season happened, well, viewership, engagement, people playing the game just completely dropped off the board for that entire month. So I'm a bit worried that might happen this time as well. And to me, it's not about the views or anything. It's about providing useful content to people. And this channel has generally been built around providing teams that are good and that work very well in the metas that they're built in. But in a season with no ranking, I'm kind of second guessing myself here. Do people want to see teams that are good if there's no ranking, if there's nothing to push for in terms of a goal? Or do people want to see more spice? So please let me know in the comments. Do you want to see spice or do you want to see good teams? Because I'm kind of stuck at a crossroads here about what I want to be running this season at all. And I don't want to go too spicy. Like, when I say spice, I'm talking about like Regirock in this team. Regirock's kind of spicy. Like, it's you've got the meta Trevenant with it. And the team is good, but I'm building it around a Pokemon that maybe you haven't seen so much. Or do you want like the meta team, something like bringing it back to the Talonflame, Amok Goon type of team? Either way, let's get into the video. We have a Cresselia lead. This is a fantastic lead for Trevenant, and they're going to swap out into Giratina. And unfortunately, this is a Pokemon that you actually need your Trevenant to take care of. And unfortunately, they call my bait on the Seed Bomb. Not ideal. I've been getting away with baits all day, so it was about time. And it's time to swap into Regirock. If you can afford to deal some damage to the Giratina before switching, for example, the Seed Bomb actually is not too bad because now it's only going to take 2 Stone Edges for Regirock to win this matchup. And now it's a pretty comfortable position for Regirock to be able to keep switch. Trevenant has a fantastic matchup against Cresselia, so that's mainly all we want to do is keep switch. Empoleon also has a pretty good matchup against Cresselia, so we just want to make sure Regirock does not go down here. So, gonna no-shield this because the switch timer is up. They Grass Knot, and I'm going to swap back into my Trevenant since they hard swapped as well. I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. This player called my bait last time, so I'm going to go straight for it this time. See what they want to do. They just want to let it go down, and in comes the Melmetal. So, the triple legendary team in Open Ultra. I mean, it's not saying anything. Legendaries aren't super powerful anymore. Anyways, I debated going for the Seed Bomb there just to get the CMP tie, but instead I'm just going to come in with the Empoleon. And Empoleon versus Melmetal and the 2 shield's not too bad, but they actually elect to swap out into the Giratina. I throw a Hydro Cannon. It doesn't matter. Either move will KO at this point. And I swap to make a catch on Regirock. Regirock doing a lot of work here, dealing with that Giratina first at the beginning, and then also soaking up as much energy as possible. This player actually knows to undercharge there, get some extra farm, and my Empoleon is going to have to take some damage here. The superpowers are going to deal way more damage than anything this Giratina can do, so we have to save both shields. Even if your Empoleon's only 25% HP, you got to know how much damage your opponent's fast moves do. In this case, Melmetal, even though its Super Thunder Shock is super effective, it doesn't hit very hard. So I can afford to no-shield that, throw with good timing, and then continue to just waterfall this Melmetal down, get that final Hydro Cannon off, and win the game. And sorry, yeah, this first one's on a full set. I swapped teams. I was trying to mess around and find some teams that worked. They didn't. Spoilers, they didn't. So I finally landed on this team and it started going pretty well. So this is why this is the team that's getting featured. It's not like I just choose a team and then feature it regardless. I gotta make sure it works. So we have a Swampert lead. This is fantastic. And you know what? They stay in. And this has happened a lot. A lot of players, I feel like, are running something like Swampert Cress, a core that maybe doesn't work so well anymore. And they're just getting absolutely destroyed by Trevenant leads. So they eventually do go into their Giratina. And unfortunately, I don't have an answer to Giratina. So this time I'll throw the Shadow Ball. I learned my lesson from last time where they didn't shield at all. They're going to throw their move. I'm going to go up to 100 energy. Nothing here really threatens Regirock. Yeah, these Dragon Claws, they don't do very much damage. And I want to be able to have a move ready for that Swampert, because even a Focus Blast from Regirock will really hurt the Swampert and might even get a shield. Although, I think it's kind of unlikely. Actually, maybe at that HP, yeah, they might actually shield this, because I think the Focus Blast will take them pretty much out at this point. Oh no, they don't shield, but they do have to throw their move right away, or they're going to get lock-on down. So I'm able to come in with either Pokemon. I decided to come in with the Empoleon because I expect them to come in with their other Pokemon, and I don't want them to get a head start. And in comes Cresselia, so I was right. Swampert, Cresselia, pretty common core, right? And it's not a position where they can really swap out of that Swampert lead, but they have to. So as long as your backline can handle whatever they switch in, Trevenant can really just sweep the rest of the game. I stayed with Empoleon just because. I mean, I'd rather have the Trevenant on the Swampert, so this works out for me, but I guess if I wanted the game to end faster, I probably should just switch the Trev. Yeah, there I go with the Shadow Claws. And then Swampert, just a couple more Shadow Claws as well. Able to take that down, no problem. But yep, I haven't been seeing too many Talonflames. That's 4 wins in this set. 3 of them with this team, 3 out of 3, so 100% win rate so far. This team may never lose. And this next lead is a Garchomp lead, so honestly, kind of scary. I think this Pokemon is kind of underrated in Ultra League. Look how much damage those Dragon Tails are doing. I feel like it has a pretty great win rate in the 2-shield against almost the entire meta. And that's what they're going to have to do here if they want to win. I'm going to shield up, sorry, no shield the Sand Tomb there. Even if they ran Outrage, that's fine. They can take me out. I can come in with the Empoleon. It's not too big of a deal. But because they bait, I'm able to go up 2 shields to 0. Going to come in with the Empoleon. And I'm actually going to no-shield this next move too. I think it's really unlikely that in a Giratina-dominated meta, that this Garchomp would be running Sand Tomb and Outrage. So I no-shield the Sand Tomb, go in with the Regirock, and don't get my move caught. Pretty good timing by my opponent to swap right as I was getting to Focus Blast. But Electivire, not going to be able to handle these Stone Edges. And that's why it's called the Season of Spice. This is clearly a very good trainer. He's just playing some fun Pokemon, I think. And it's awesome to see, honestly. That's why I asked the question at the beginning. Like, what do we want to see here? What is this season? Nobody seems to know really what their goals are this season or what's really happening. Alright, so Obstagoon lead. This is really tough, and it looks like it might be a triple counter team, which would be very, very bad considering the Obstagoon is lined up on the Trevenant. But yes, Obstagoon is probably the main problem for this team. That and Scrafty are the main core breakers. Regirock can actually handle them okay, but unfortunately it's also the Pokemon you have to swap into them in the lead. And then the other issue is Walrein, I believe, where Regirock is your only real answer to it. So it is a bit tricky if you see a Walrein in the lead as well. Sorry, I was just talking over this because this game is not technically over. There's always that chance, but now it's over. They actually come in not with the Goon, but with the Crobat. You can see I'm half-heartedly hitting those bubbles because I'm just getting ready to top left as fast as I can at that point. Alright, next game. We have an Abomasnow lead. This is also a bit of a core breaker. Regirock's not too bad, although the Energy Ball essentially one-shots it. Empoleon struggles a little bit versus it, and Trevenant obviously struggles versus it. So here's the Swampert counter switch. So hard counter right now. Can't really catch a break with these leads, but you know what? That's Pokemon Go. You're not going to be able to catch a break sometimes with these leads, and you just need to find a way to outplay your opponents en route to a victory. So I'm going to come back in with the Trevenant. I've created a little bit of a farm opportunity for myself. Going to no-shield whatever it is. Hydro Cannon. And then no-shield whatever it is, because Trevenant is locked in to an Abomasnow matchup. They actually hard swap here, which is great for me. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball because I want to get a shield. And then I want to go in with the Empoleon. And now with the 2-to-1 shield advantage, if a Drill Peck KOs, which it might because it's a Shadow Abomasnow, I might be able to take down this Abomasnow, which is the biggest threat to my team. So my opponent makes a little bit of a mistake there by swapping out of that Swampert matchup, but at the same time, I kind of forced them to make that mistake because otherwise I was going to end that matchup with more than a Shadow Ball, and I would be able to deal some significant damage to that Abomasnow. So you see, I'm going to spend 2 shields there on the energy balls. I'm going to throw a Drill Peck. It's going to be enough. Yes, and it's going to be just enough to take out that Abomasnow. And we'll see what they have in the back. It's got to be something like a Talonflame. There we go. I've been waiting for that Talonflame all day, and we finally get that. And of course, I'm not going to throw right away because I know that my opponent knows that his only win condition is if he catches that Hydro Cannon. And I'm not going to let him do it, so we're just going to keep attacking. I know there's nothing from that Talonflame that's going to threaten my Empoleon, so there's no reason to throw. It's all about being patient. I was going to throw one more Waterfall. If they threw another Incinerate, they'd be locked in their move, and they can't catch. So that's how you can use good move timing to kind of force your way to victories there. Alright, Crobat. Going to throw the Poison Fang. And I'm just going to throw the Stone Edge. I was hoping this would go like the earlier Dragonite matchup, but Stone Edge does not quite KO a Crobat, and the lock-on down is a bit tricky. I was not sure how much damage a debuff Shadow Ball was going to do, so I decided to take it out right away. In comes Cresselia, and I found it a little bit odd the way they were playing this. I felt like whatever they had in the back was weak to Regirock as well, so I decided to swap into my Empoleon to preserve my Regirock for later. So notice when you swap out of these matchups, this is pretty important. You don't swap into your lead Pokemon in an ABB, because if you swap into your lead Pokemon, they're going to take out your Trevenant, and guess what? If they have a fighter in the back, you lose. So if you ever swap out of one of your backline, you always have to swap into the other one of your backline. And it seems pretty counterintuitive, but look what they have in the back. It's a Alolan Muck. So my Regirock can absolutely dominate that Alolan Muck, and my Trevenant would have been absolutely destroyed. So the play here is if I swap into my Empoleon, and they swap their Muck into my Empoleon, then I still have my Trevenant for the Cresselia later. And it doesn't really matter what they swap into my Empoleon. They could swap a Toxicroak into my Empoleon. They could swap anything. But Trevenant will still be on the Cresselia later. And that's really all that matters. Alright, Sirfetch'd lead. They're going to swap out right away into Alolan Muck. I make a little bit of a mistake here. I didn't check if it was Snarl or Poison Jab. Just because the last one was Poison Jab, I kind of assumed this one was too. It's Snarl. So this matchup is not as clean as you might expect, especially if they take it down a couple shields. And I absolutely cannot afford to give up Switch here. Sirfetch'd is just going to have its way with Regirock. That is for sure. So going to shield up, match shields with this Muck. Farm up a little bit more. Get this Hydro Cannon off. And they let it through, which is good. I feel a little bit relieved. But the Sirfetch'd with an energy advantage is still a bit scary for Trevenant. Tries to sneak a move, fails. Wonder when we'll see Niantic fix that. Should be soon, right? And gonna throw the Seed Bomb. I just have to make sure they don't catch here. And I will have to shield this next move. Yeah, the reason I didn't shield the first one, because in case they get the boost, and they didn't build up to the potential Brave Bird, I think they were one below. So I wait there for them to throw that second counter, because I was scared they would catch. I'm gonna throw the Seed Bomb, and they're gonna come in with Cresselia. So a little bit scary here. Gonna try and catch a move on my Regirock, just so that my Trevenant can get to a move later. It's one away from a Shadow Ball, but if my Regirock gets enough Stone Edges off, it should only need a Seed Bomb to take it out. So the goal here is just to start dealing that damage to Cresselia, and just hope that it either cannot farm down my Regirock, or that my Regirock can take it within range of a Seed Bomb. And here we go. This Stone Edge is going to do just that. I'm very lucky that this Cresselia, this particular one, did not have Grass Knot, and they know their win con. They have to farm me all the way down, and they can't quite get there. Regirock just a little bit too strong. Honestly, Regirock is so good in this meta. It's actually incredible. I didn't even see that many Talonflame. It seems like it just has play against everything, and people don't know the matchups very well. And that's always a very important part of what makes a Pokemon good. And that's why Regirock, I think, is so good in this meta. Drapion lead, this is obviously not ideal. We're going to get right out to the Regirock, and in comes Scrafty. I used to bait here. I used to always bait this first one. But if they swap a little bit slow, you'll get to see what happens if I don't bait this first one. So they shield it up Focus Blast obviously will hit really hard, but Scrafty's very tanky. Gonna be another power-up punch. So Drapion into Scrafty so far this game, that's pretty tough as well, right? The Focus Blast will go through, I believe. Yeah, and it doesn't quite KO. So this matchup is much safer for Scrafty than it is for Goon. Goon, if you bait and then you get the Focus Blast off, it's game over. So gonna come in with the Trevenant. Not gonna shield. It's already useless against the Drapion anyways. Just have to hope they bait for no reason. We'll get the full farm and then swap right into that Empoleon, which does have a good matchup versus Drapion, but it does not have a good matchup versus Giratina. The 2-to-1 shield advantage is not going to be enough here. If this was Great League, for example, this is why I'm not a big fan of Ultra League. Alignment matters so much more because the Pokemon are so tanky. In Great League, Empoleon might be able to drill peck through a Giratina with 2 shields. It might be able to do that. If you build up an advantage during the game in Great League, you might be able to leverage that and win the game. But in Ultra League, it seems like it doesn't really matter how much of an advantage you build up. You might just lose anyways, regardless of what's in the back. So that's kind of my beef with Ultra League. And with the XLs added to Great League, it just increases the tank. And because the tank is increased, I feel like the opportunity to outplay is also decreased. Anyways, Drapion comes back in. You can see that Shadow Ball actually hits pretty hard. I decided to instead play the 2v1 shields with Trevenant and Drapion. Gonna throw the Shadow Ball here in hopes that I can get another shield. In hindsight, I probably should have baited because my Empoleon's not healthy enough to deal with that Giratina. So I'm gonna have to let my Trev go down. And I'm gonna be able to get this Hydro Cannon off. And I just had to hope that Giratina was lower HP than I thought it was, and it was not. Got absolutely destroyed with the shield remaining too, so I don't know where I would have used that shield. If I shield on the Trevenant, Drapion still gets its move off before me. There just wasn't really a good opportunity. Alright, Trevenant versus Jellicent lead. This is generally Trevenant favored, but it can kind of go a little bit crazy with the baits, and they're almost always going to bait you if they have Bubble Beam, so I'm expecting the Bubble Beam, but you gotta shield, you gotta respect that Bubble Beam, and yeah, there it is. In fact, this Jellicent might be a single move Bubble Beam Jellicent. I should have been counting, because I don't think that could have been a Shadow Ball. Either way, they swap and catch on Nidoqueen, so pretty good catch by them. And because I'm shields down, I don't really have a way to deal with this. So I gotta go in with the Empoleon and really hope that they just don't throw right away. But they do. And this Earth Power is gonna absolutely chunk. Doesn't quite take down Empoleon. And Empoleon's gonna be able to get the farm down. So this Hydro Cannon's gonna hurt, and in comes Lugia. Shadow Lugia even. I get the last shield and still get to another Hydro Cannon. I'm very surprised they didn't come with the Jellicent there. But because Lugia is in, I'm going to come with the Regirock. Regirock, honestly, not too bad against Jellicent, and they're just going to go for the Bubble Beam anyways, which doesn't do anything. Going to swap out into the Trevenant. I'll farm up a little bit more and go for that Seed Bomb, and then Lugia is going to come back in. The reason I brought Regirock into the Lugia was because I felt like Trevenant had the better Jellicent matchup, so that's what I was playing for. This Lugia going to get to a move, deal some decent damage, take out the Trevenant, and in comes Regirock. Regirock's going to be able to very easily finish the job. And Lugia is another Pokemon that I think is pretty underrated in Ultra League as well. I'm not so sure about Shadow Lugia. I feel like regular is better, just because you kind of do want that bulk to get to Aeroblasts. But very solid Pokemon. Regardless, Shadow Dragonite lead going to go straight into the Regirock, and here's the Goon we were talking about. I can go for the bait this time, because I think versus Goon, if you don't bait, you only get to one move, but I think my opponent knows this matchup too. They don't shield. So, very impressive by them. But that bait call is might actually cost me. I actually wait for them to throw another one here, because I think it's a lower chance that they're actually going to shield. But might as well throw the Focus Blast at this point, since they've already thrown their energy. And now they shield. So they're going to be able to take down... Oh man, it's bad news when you have to bring a Trevenant into an Obstagoon, but... Yeah. Yeah, it's rough for sure. This is not what you want to see, but there's a Dragonite there that Trevenant kind of has a tough time dealing with, so I'm really just hoping that Empoleon can sweep the backline at this point. It's able to take down the Obstagoon before it gets to move, but Dragonite is a little bit of a different story. the Dragon Breaths, they kind of hurt. Even though it is resisted, Shadow Dragonite attacks that. It's very high. It's very squishy. So yeah, I'm going to have to shield even these Dragon Claws or they're going to take me out. And I'm just praying it's a... Even a Talonflame in the back beats me here. So it have to be something really bad. And it's a Weavile, which is almost bad enough. Because this Weavile, it's not even running Foul Play. This Weavile, it's running Focus Blast, which it doesn't get to fast enough, which means it has to throw resisted avalanches at Empoleon, which means I'm going to get not one, but 2 Hydro Cannons off. Going to be able to take out the Weavile. And then also this Dragonite. Just kidding, unfortunately. Yeah, a little bit too low HP. That one turn fast move, just a little bit too strong. Gonna take out Empoleon. Gonna lose another game, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just lose games, especially in Ultra League. Clefable lead. We're gonna get out right away into Regirock, see what they want to do. They actually take their sweet time to switch out, which is interesting because I believe Politoed is a pretty good matchup here, and it's not like they're farming up for something on Clefable. So either way, I'm just gonna throw some Stone Edges here. I actually think I win the Zero Shield with like a Stone Edge advantage. So they have to shield. And I'm just going to try and get to more Stone Edges here. If I can get another one off, that's going to put this Politoed in farm down range. And my Trevenant won't need to throw a move. I actually thought it... Yeah, I thought about going for the Focus Blast. I wasn't quite sure I could make it, so I chickened out. I'm going to throw the Stone Edge instead. Come in with the Trevenant, farm down. And I don't think they're at a Blizzard, so we'll just let that Weather Ball through. Get that free farm, and now guess what? It's a Clefable versus Trevenant, except now Trevenant has an extra shield and a move, but instead they're going to come in with the Abomasnow, which is honestly better. I don't really mind staying in here. The goal here is just to deal as much damage as possible. I'm really hoping they just CMP time me on that Seed Bomb, not expecting me to throw the Seed Bomb and trying to build up before my Shadow Ball. I actually get the shield, get the CMP, they're going to take me out, and then Empoleon with the 2 shield advantage versus Abomasnow in the back should not be an issue at all. Yeah, and there comes Clefable. Yeah, this is not a good matchup. And my goal here, trying to find the win con. So Clefable's going to get to a move. I'm going to spend my shield on that, which means I need to end this matchup with a move so I can take out that Abomasnow before it gets to a move. So those are my 2 conditions to fulfill my win at this point. So completed 1, completed 2, and that's how you get your wins. And honestly, practice finding your win conditions. That's the easiest way to get better at this game. Once you feel like you've learned how to count moves and all the basics and stuff like that, trying to find your win condition and actively practicing and trying to figure out and plan your wins is the best way to figure that out for sure. Another Swampert lead, and like I said, for some reason, they just love to stay in. In comes the Talonflame, and you know what? I got a couple answers to this. I probably should have come with Empoleon, just because you can end it with more farm. They go for the Flame Charge first. I went a little bit over 100 energy, just trying to throw with good timing, which is unfortunate. And they shield. Very interesting shield. In fact, I'm going to throw another Stone Edge here. And they get another shield, and they just keep farming up here. I want to see how much damage a boosted Brave Bird does. They clearly want Switch. But you know what? It doesn't even take out, and unfortunately, because I didn't throw with very good timing in the middle, I actually could have won the 2v0 shield here, but I do have to shield this Flame Charge. Yeah, I miscounted because I forgot they threw that first Flame Charge, so their second Flame Charge is cheaper, but they threw a Brave Bird in between, so a bit tricky. They're going to come back in with Swampert, and going to come back in with Trev, throw that Seed Bomb right away. Don't want them farming up to, or throwing a Sludge Wave or something like that. Seed Bomb's going to take them out, and it's Cresselia in the back. Not what I expected. Like I said, though, another Swampert Cresselia core. There's a lot of those out there, so Trevenant is a Pokemon that honestly absolutely destroys them. But another 3 wins, and I believe that's... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many wins and losses that was with this team. I think it's 10. That was 10 wins and 3 losses, so pretty good win rate. But I mean, I'm still ranked 14, so how good is that even? Who knows? There's no such thing as rating right now in terms of visible rating. Anyways, please, like I mentioned earlier, let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want to see from me. Do we want like do we want no spice? Do we want semi-spice like a Regirock? Or do we want like full spice like Porygon Z. I don't know. Something really bad. I feel like I can't even bring myself to do that. But anyways, love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.